I'm Carl Anthony with AutoSensTV, and we're here at AutoSens Detroit 2019 at the Michigan Science Center, speaking today with Dave Tokic, the Vice President of Marketing and Strategic Partnerships for Algolux. And Dave, it's good to see you again this year.
Great to see you too, Carl.
Dave, it makes me smile because I've been trying to catch you since I got here yesterday, and you're always busy. Everybody is always in your display, and that's a good thing, but it's nice to finally catch up and see you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a fantastic flow of great discussions and trying to share a bit more about the latest in what we're doing around perception and imaging for ADAS and autonomous systems.
So let's start with that, the latest in perception, the latest in autonomous system. You had some big news here recently, so let's talk about that.
Yes, so very recently we announced ION, which is our platform for autonomous vision design and implementation. And what that is addressing for our customers is a way to improve safety for these vehicles, whether it's a driven vehicle using an ADAS system or an autonomous vehicle, and to improve scalability for the design teams that are trying to create these systems.
And so when you talk about scalability and design systems, and a lot of moving parts there, a lot of complicated elements. So talk about the challenges that you face with this technology.
Yeah, well, I think challenges are more what the industry is facing in terms of improving the accuracy, the robustness under challenging driving conditions, we'll call it, for these systems. And so we really tackle that in a very different way. Maybe one interesting data point that it was quite good to see was that the presenter earlier today from the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety, great presentation about just the ability for these active systems to improve and reduce accidents and injuries, and therefore liabilities, is definitely proven, but they reinforce that still there are limitations to these systems, difficulties under harsh driving conditions like bad weather, low light, which reflect back to the sensing types that are being used. And so what we do from both our Atlas suite, camera tuning suite, as well as our EOS perception software, really directly address some of those challenges and improve robustness. And what I mean by that is dramatically increase the accuracy of these systems under those tough imaging conditions. And we're talking quite a bit about cameras today, or engaging customers around camera-based perception systems today, because they are the most ubiquitous sensor being used in cars today. You're hearing various companies that are saying 8 cameras in the car, 12 cameras in the car, outside the car and in the car. And so trying to solve that for cameras is super important, which we think we have quite an advantage for. But there are other sensing modalities coming out that have their limitations, and so we look to address and apply our artificial intelligence approaches to incorporating that for cameras as well as these multi-sensor systems.
You mentioned Algolux having an advantage with these innovations. Talk about that a little bit, Dave.
Absolutely. If we start on the perception side with our EOS platform, today there are limitations in how these computer vision perception systems are developed. It comes down to the current architectures with hardware, limitations in how these systems are being trained with deep learning, and also just limitations in the implementation of those AI systems. And so we're really taking a novel approach by doing end-to-end learning that allows us to incorporate details about how the camera, for example, perceives the surroundings through the sensor and compensates for noise and other things that are brought on by low light and bad weather. And it gives us an advantage of 20, 30, 40, 60% over today's state-of-the-art approaches. And that is directly addressing the safety challenges. And then for more traditional systems, we have our Atlas tool suite to allow us to tune those systems for better image quality, for both computer vision and visual display purposes.
Now, Dave, it may seem like an obvious question, but me as a consumer, or anybody as a consumer, in the cars that we drive every day, Why is this technology important? We talk about cameras being added to a car. Why is it important that these cameras can see? Why is this important?
Great, great question. Really, if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture, we know that today accidents and fatalities on the roadway are primarily caused by human drivers. Lack of attentiveness, mistakes in driving. Actually, they say about 94% of them are actually driver related. And so building out these advanced driver assist systems for the drivers and moving towards more autonomous vehicles directly addresses safety. And whether it's the 40,000 deaths in North America alone, or the over 1 million deaths worldwide, 1.3 million, I think, worldwide annually that occurs, deploying these systems has a fundamental impact on lives as well as the economy. And so by bringing up the level of capability in these systems to have a much more accurate and effective robustness is fundamental, and that's why I think the industry as a whole is driving to advance these deployment of these systems. And the IIHS presentation fundamentally says yes, this is working. So it's something that we're glad to be part of to help drive safety and do it in a way that's efficient and scalable for customers to get there in the most costly way.
Algolux seems like a company that is just uniquely positioned right in the middle of all this, everything you're saying. What does that feel like to really have your finger on the pulse like that? You're really in the center, Dave.
Yeah, at the center and the forefront, right? There's been such tremendous innovation going on across the whole space, especially through the advent of applying machine learning and artificial intelligence techniques, advancements in processing, advancements in sensing, and trying to integrate that together and be able to deliver the promise that all that innovation has brought. It's really been exciting that we really have been able to show something rather unique and novel in the industry, ultimately to help improve the safety and robustness of these systems. So very excited to be part of that.
And Dave, before we forget today, you have some things here for attendees to see at your display. Tell us what you have on the table here.
Oh, absolutely. So right here, we're demonstrating our two main products underneath the ION platform. We're showcasing some really interesting results from EOS, so perception under very low light, high noise conditions, under rain and snow and fog. So you typically don't see that kind of a example when you walk around these shows, so we're pretty unique that way to show that kind of performance. And also we're showing our Atlas tuning suite, which as I mentioned, allows the automation of tuning cameras for maximizing either the best display for a human driver or for maximizing computer vision for more traditional camera-based architecture. So very excited to share that, and we've gotten, as you said, a lot of traffic and a lot of great interest, so looking forward to continuing it for the rest of the show this week.
It really was, Dave. I've been trying to get a hold of you since I got here yesterday midday, and you've been a busy guy. So that said, I want to let you get back to it, but I don't want to forget anything. Is there any final thoughts you have to add? Anything we may have missed that we still need to cover yet?
Well, I think for us, it's about how can we help the customer? How do we help the OEMs, the Tier 1s, to improve what they're doing today through scalability, through increased accuracy, and so on. I think those are the messages that I'd like to kind of share, and we're excited for the momentum that we already have with the OEMs and Tier 1s to date, and look to continue that.
Dave, from all of us here at AutoSense, we want to wish you a great show and best of luck to you in the future.
Great, thank you very much, Carl. Great to be here.
Carl Anthony for AutoSensTV, speaking today with Dave Tokic of Algolux, one of our 450 delegates here at AutoSens Detroit 2019. For more AutoSense, like, subscribe, and share.